The Hydra Cluster War was a military conflict which, like most wars, was rooted in economic tensions, competing interests. The Hydra cluster is a complex of 6 star systems that are located about 30 light years away from Sol. The mining corporations, which were hugely profitable in the cluster system, were angered when the UN attempted, and rightly so, to reassert control over this region. The mining corporations united, they militarized, they formed the United Mining Freedom Front, and they went on the offensive.
Was Tiberius one of their first targets?
Yes, Tiberius was. The offensive consisted of a 3-pronged attack against Silurius, Arcia, and Tiberus, but Tiberus absorbed the brunt of the initial attack.
What were the initial losses?
Initially, total defeat. All 30 of the ships that were deployed were destroyed, all hands were lost. Then the drop ships went into action.
I was an infantry sergeant, used the AR-45 standard battle rifle. It's capable of firing magnetically accelerated 8mm rounds at a range of over 400 meters. The first wave of dropships began to descend around 0400 hours. We finally made contact with the enemy sometime after 2000 hours.
What were your first impressions?
They were poorly trained. They ran straight at our gun emplacements, made no use of available cover. This improved over the course of the 2 years, but because they were poorly trained and the lack of quality of their equipment, they continued to try to use human wave tactics.
Drop troops are an elite form of infantry. They're deployed from ships orbiting around planets in space to land vehicles. They are intended to attack the enemy positions from behind the lines or to reinforce UN positions that are under siege. They were deployed in the Battle of Tiberus very effectively, with great success.
My name is Elias Downing. I was a captain of a drop infantry company.
How often did you drop?
As often as we had to.
Were there many wounded?
Yeah, very gruesome wounds. A lot of casualties.
UN forces on Tiberus were cut off for most of the duration of the war, and they had to operate on their own. Now, fortunately, the UN had the foresight to construct an extensive system of underground tunnels and bunkers that were self-contained.
How far down are we?
About 2 kilometers.
This allowed the UN forces to operate underground, undetected, and for the most part unmolested. They were able to attack the front forces as they advanced. It was an excellent form of defense.
This is one of the 6 main tunnels leading the central command hub about 6 kilometers from here. There used to be dirt-creek emplacements and defenses along it, but most have been removed for ease of access.
What's that?
One of the enemy front's shell casings, 7.82mm.
It's amazing there's so many remnants out here. Can you show us the battlefield?
Sure. The enemy was trying to advance through these woods to one of the main power plants 100 kilometers away. But our defenses were very strong here in the woods, so they flooded into this open area. My battalion and I were dug in these hills. The enemy had superior numbers, but we were reinforced from a battalion by the 3rd Drop Regiment. We eventually held the enemy off.
What I distinctly remember is devastation. The planets be checkerboarded and not checkerboarded with different colors. It would be green and black. Black, whole sections of earth vaporized. It was heartbreaking. It was heartbreaking.
This plaque and flag commemorates the battleground where on September 5th, 2239, the 32nd Infantry Division and 3rd Drop Infantry Regiment fought and defeated a superior United Mining Freedom Front force, ending the Battle of Tiberus.